Good morning, everybody. My name's Ian, and I am the owner of Right Start Newcomer Services, and I'm your English teacher. So thank you very much for coming. Welcome to today's awesome lesson. But before we begin, I'd like to mention that Right Start Newcomer Services conducts business in Chibuktuk, which is how you say Halifax in the Mi'kmaq language. This city is part of the ancestral unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This means that when settlers arrived, the indigenous people did not surrender their territory and instead signed treaties with Europeans. As a business, we're committed to upholding these treaties as we continue to build relationships between settlers, newcomers, and Mi'kmaq people. So I would like to welcome everybody to today's live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to say hello in the chat, say hi, you can wave, you can, don't give me the finger, but just say hi to the other students. And it's always great to see who is tuning in to today's lesson. If you're watching later on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, still say hi, and I will be sure to answer any questions that you might have later on. Great, so today's lesson is, I think, going to be a good one. So today, we're going to look at understanding job advertisements. So it's a really important step when you're looking for a job here in Canada, looking through the job advertisements on different websites. We'll talk about what some of those websites are, understanding exactly the types of information that are in these job advertisements so you can tailor your application. So you can work on your resume, so you can work on a cover letter, and give them exactly what they're looking for when you're going to apply for a job. So we do have a comment. Hello, Pilar. How are you? How's everything in Colombia? I hope you guys are doing well down there. And where's your husband today? Where's Christian on this fine day? Great. Anybody else watching? So we don't have too many viewers right now, but if you're joining later, welcome. Okay, so let's look at today's outline. All right, so like I said, we're going to be looking at job advertisements today. We have an outline here, so we're going to start with a warm-up. We're going to do a little discussion as usual, give you guys a chance to interact with each other a bit and practice your writing skills. We're going to go through some vocabulary. So there are some words that come up in job advertisements that might be a little bit tricky that I think we should discuss today. Then we're going to talk about something very, very important for those of you looking for a job, and that is what your salary would be. So we're going to look at some different careers here in Canada, and you guys are going to try to guess the salary. And I'll also give you that information as well. And then finally, we're going to do a practice reading, and you guys are going to look at a job advertisement. And then I'm going to test your ability to read and understand the information in a job advertisement. Sound good? Give me a thumbs up if that's okay. We have a couple more students who've arrived. Hi, Yelda. Hello, nice to see you again. And Bay is here. Hey, Bay, how's it going? Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for coming. Let's move on to our discussion. So Yelda, okay, Yelda, I'm good today because the weather is so good in a couple days. Okay, so you got a couple spelling things. Yelda, so cause. So I think you mean cause like because. So cause is C-A-U-S-E. But normally we would use the full word. So let's use because. Sometimes we say cause, like in conversation, we might say cause instead of because. But definitely when we're writing, we want to use the full word because. And you also, I think you spelled weather wrong, so just make sure it's Weather. And then the rest of your statement looks pretty good, Yelda. Okay, so thank you for sharing. I don't know if you're in Halifax. I don't think you're in Halifax, but the weather here has been amazing. The last few days. Here, just let me turn my camera around so you guys can see how beautiful it is. Whoa. That's pretty nice. This is the view from my home office. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. And it's hard to believe that, wow, it's October. It's almost the middle of October and the weather is still nice and sunny and warm. It's feels nice. It's, even better than it was in the summertime. So we are enjoying a very nice extended summer here in Halifax. Bay, you're doing pretty good. That's good to hear. I'm glad that you're doing very well. Okay, great. So we have some students. Let's talk about today's discussion topic. So today's topic is work. So it's related to job search, working, that kind of stuff. So I have 5 questions. I'll read through them. As usual, you guys can answer in the chat. So which one do you want to answer? Do you want to answer all of them? It is up to you because this class is for you guys. However much you want to participate is great. So number 1, how did you find your last job? That's a pretty interesting question. Today's topic is job advertisements, but not everybody finds their job through a job advertisement. Definitely some people do, but there are definitely other ways to find a job, and maybe even better ways than going through the typical find a job ad, do your cover letter, resume, send it off. That's usually not the most effective way to find a job. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Number 2, how do most people find their jobs in your country and in Canada? So what do you know about Canada and what's it like in your country? Number 3, what are the main job search sites in Canada? So this is really good for those of you who are in Canada, but also maybe you're starting to do some research and you say, okay, let's start looking at some possible jobs. And maybe some people actually apply for jobs outside of Canada before moving to Canada. And it is possible. It is possible to find a job before coming to Canada. So I suggest you do that. Start looking at some of the job advertisement websites, which we'll discuss, and then look and see what jobs are available and even apply for some of them. Number 4, what kind of jobs are in high demand? So here in Canada, there are certain jobs that, for example, if you're a nurse and you are allowed to work in Canada as a nurse, you could get a job like that, like super fast. Maybe, within a few days or a week. Nurses are in very high demand in Canada. And then finally, what information can you find on a job advertisement? So think about job advertisements you've seen. What are some of the categories of information that you can find there? Super easy. Okay, we have a couple more comments. Joel is here. Hey, Joel. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming back. And Tati is here. I don't know. I don't recognize you, Tati. So welcome to today's class, Tati. And I'm really, really happy that you could join us. If you just want to say where you're watching from, whether it's in Canada or somewhere else, please let us know. Because, this is a great way for you to meet some other students as well. Maybe you meet some people in your country or from other countries, and we can all be friends together. So Yelda, I graduated with a PhD in Turkey, and I studied so hard, prepared more articles, and then I found an assistant professor job in architectural department. Okay, great. So awesome. Thank you, Yelda. So I graduated with a PhD in Turkey, and I studied so hard. Prepared, you got a spelling error, Prepared. More articles. Let's, instead of saying more articles, let's say a lot of articles. Or I wrote a lot of articles, and then, THEN, then I found an assistant professor job in the architectural department. Other than that, that's a great answer, Yelda. So thank you so much for sharing. So that's how you did it. That's how you found your job, worked your butt off, studied hard, wrote articles, and then got a job as an assistant professor. So that is awesome. Anybody else, would you like to answer any of those questions? So how'd you find your job? How do people find their job in your country or in Canada? What are the main job sites? Have you heard of any job search sites? So these are websites where you can go find a lot of jobs that are available. What jobs are in high demand? So I mentioned nurses, but do you know of any other jobs in Canada where it's really, really pretty easy to get a job if you have the right skills and qualifications? Finally, what information can you find on a job advertisement? So I'm going to zip it for a couple seconds, let you think about and answer some of those questions. Sometimes it's a teacher's job just to be silent, and it's hard. Okay. Yelda, I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. I am an substitute? Anyway, not sure about what that word is, sabbatical. If anybody knows that word, they can let me know. In Halifax, therefore, I didn't search for any job in Canada. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you can explain the word sabbatical for me, Yelda, because I'm not really sure what that means. Good word, though. I just have never heard it before. Okay, great. So anyway, I sort of get it. You're not searching for work in Canada, so you haven't visited any of the websites. That makes perfect sense. So why would you, search the job search websites in Canada if you're not looking for a job? Anyway, I'll answer some of the questions for myself. You guys feel free to answer those as well. My last job was in an organization here in Halifax. I found that job as an English teacher through my friend. So I met a friend. We were in university classes together. She told me that they were looking for English teachers, and I then applied. So I didn't read a job advertisement. I got it through my network, which is really how most people find their jobs here in Canada. They know somebody, they reach out to that person tells them about a job opportunity, and then they get the job through their network. Something like that. They call that the hidden job market. And they say up to, 70 or 80% of the jobs in Canada are not advertised. Instead, we get it through the people that we know. The main job search sites in Canada are, one is called Indeed. I'll write them here in case you guys want to check them out later. There's another one called Job Bank. This is the government website. There's another one called monster.ca. There's another one called, what's that one called? Workopolis. And some people use Kijiji. And of course, even some people find their jobs on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really big one. So here are some of the main websites that you can look at. So Indeed, JobBank, Monster.ca, Workopolis, Kijiji. Some people find their job on Facebook, but there's a lot of scams. You have to be really careful with like Facebook and Kijiji. Even some of the other ones, there could be scams, but I find a lot of the jobs on Facebook are not reliable. Don't even bother applying. Like it's mostly people trying to get your social insurance number, your information to rip you off. It's a pretty scary place. All right, so okay, you're getting closer. Yelda, you meant sabbatical. So not sabbatical, sabbatical. I'm not even sure how to spell that. Sabbatical. Anybody knows how to spell sabbatical? I would be greatly appreciative. Sabbatical. Okay, sabbatical, Sabbatical. So sabbatical, I think that's how you spell it. Okay, so now I get it. You're on sabbatical. Sabbatical means that you are away from your job for a certain period of time, maybe a year or 6 months, where you can do research, you can learn things, and then go back to your job after. So great. Thank you. Now I understand, Yelda. Your sabbatical is allowed by the university. That makes sense. Dave is here. Hey, Dave. So in the net, yes, you can find jobs on the net for sure. And Irene's here. Hey, Irene, how's it going? Thank you for coming. So good to see you. I hope everything's good in Russia. So a lot of people do find their jobs online through their connections on LinkedIn. You guys should really focus on LinkedIn. I don't know how popular LinkedIn is in your countries, but it is hugely popular here. And if you're not on LinkedIn, it's not helping you to build your network and to find jobs. So get a LinkedIn account, start using it, start connecting with people, right, in your field, but also just people in the community, because you never know where a job opportunity is going to come from. And usually it's from the people that you know. Okay, so we talked about the job sites. The jobs that are in high demand in Canada are really healthcare, IT jobs. A lot of people, a lot of IT companies are really struggling to find workers. Service jobs, so jobs like working in a restaurant, delivery drivers are in high demand as well. And then finally, like childcare workers, they always seem to be in high demand because it's a hard job and it's pretty low pay. So if you do any of those things, you might find it quite easy to get a job in Canada. But, you know, there's things like your credentials need to be assessed and you may not be qualified to do that job here in Canada. So you really have to look at that stuff as well. And then finally, the job advertisement itself, so much information. They're telling you salary, responsibilities, all that stuff. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Yelda, yeah, that's a good one. So Glassdoor does have jobs. A lot of Glassdoor is the experience of employees. So let's say, you know, my business is Right Start Newcomer Services. If I have an employee, they can write a review of what it's like to work in my company. So they can say, how is the boss? Oh, Ian is great. How's the salary? How's the benefits? How's all that stuff? So that's the main thing for Glassdoor, but maybe they also do some job ads as well. So thank you for sharing. That is great, Yelda. So great job, you guys. Let's move on to the next part. Let's do a little vocabulary. So in this section, just give me the word. These are the different sections of a job advertisement that you will frequently find when you look at job advertisements. So read the definitions and give the correct word. So number one, the job you will be doing starts with P. What's the word for the job you will be doing that is given in a job advertisement? And I'll write them here. So P is for position. Okay, I got that one. Why does it do that? P stands for position. So these words, you'll find the different sections in a job advertisement. Read through the rest and see if you know any of those other words. So what's number 2, what's number 3, what's number 4, and what's number 5? So I'm going to talk to Irene for a sec. So Irene's doing great. I'm good as well, Irene. I'm always happy when I can attend your classes. That's great. So I'm happy to have you here. I'm glad you can make it today, Irene. Yeah, I know sometimes I know you're working and you're super busy, so it's fine when you're not able to attend the classes. Okay, great. So the job you'll be doing is your position. What things you will do in the role? So the word starts with R. So the things you're going to be doing in the job. Let's say you get a job at a restaurant. You're going to be serving food. You're going to be asking for payment. You're going to be cleaning tables. You're going to be answering the phone for takeout orders. So we would call those your good guess, engineering visual process. So not review. Good guess, though. So these are your responsibilities. And back to this one. This was position. So don't worry about the number of blanks. It's just showing that there's missing letters. What things you will do in this role, those are your responsibilities. So like I said, if you're a waitress or server, bring food to people, get their orders, take orders by phone, clean the tables, blah, blah, blah. Those are your job responsibilities. Okay, number 3, this is what they're looking for from you. Your experience and training that make you suitable for this job. Those are your, starts with Q. Qualify, good, almost, but I think Bay has the right answer. Qualifications. So qualifications. Good word, Bay. So qualifications. Those are your skills and experience. Very good engineering visual process. You got it as well. Those are the things that make you suitable for the role, right? My qualifications are 20 years of teaching experience. Technological skills. I can use email and Microsoft Word and all those things. So all those things together make me qualified for this position. Okay. And why does it do that every time? So qualifications. And I think somebody got the next one too. Bay got that one. Yelda got that one. And engineering visual process got salary. Okay, and the hours you will work. So the hours you will work. Okay, lots of people got salary. We all know the word for money, right? Salary, salary, salary. Great. Interesting. Salary is money, but celery is a vegetable. One is C-E-L-E-R-Y, celery is a food. Salary is the work. Okay. Sorry, the money that you make for working. Number 5, the hours you will work is yours. SC. Anybody get it? H. E. D. U. L. E. Schedule. So schedule, or there's another word, shift, that they might use. All right. So your schedule is just your hours. Your shift is, it could be the length of your shift. So it could be 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, could be evening, could be morning, could be overnight, or it could be on weekends, right? So sometimes they specified in the job advertisement what your schedule would be, what your shifts would look like. Okay, great. So schedule or shifts, a lot of you got that one as well. So Jose got that. Great job, you guys. Let's move on to the next 5, the last words we're going to be looking at for today. The things employees receive in addition to money. So despite what you might think, it's not only about the money. There are other important things related to your job besides money, and that word starts with B. This is a hard one. Number 7, the last day for applying for the job. So usually they have a limit. We're only accepting applications up until this day. What do they call that date in the job advertisement? Number 8, a job that will end on a certain date. Okay, that's another tricky word. Number 9, a job that will continue indefinitely. So this means into the future for as long as you want to stay in that job or as long as that job is available. And then an extra incentive for being hired. For example, I was running down the street and I saw McDonald's. They had a sign that said, new employees receive $200 to be hired here. So what would they call that? And the word starts with B. All right, so let's see what you guys got. Looks like engineering visual process got one. So benefits. So that would be for number 6, benefits. Great. So benefits are in addition to money. So it could be health insurance benefits, dental benefits, time off, vacation time. What are some other benefits? Pension. So pension is a big benefit. RRSP is usually what it's called here in Canada. So those benefits sometimes are just as important as the salary. So maybe the salary is pretty low, but the benefits are high. You might want to look at the big picture, like the entire package, before you decide which job you want to take. Okay, great job. Engineering visual process. Is that your real name? Engineering visual process? Maybe your parents were engineers and they named you engineering visual process. I don't know. You never know, right? Okay, we got another answer. So Jose gave us bonus. So that is for number 10, I believe. So bonus. bonus. So an extra incentive for being hired is bonus. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's a new car. Sometimes it's, I don't know, like a coupon for food or something like that. So sometimes they do give you a bonus, especially if, you know, they're having trouble hiring people. Like nobody wants to work at McDonald's these days because, you know, it's a crappy job. Don't tell McDonald's I said that, but of course they have to give extra money to get people to work there. I think they give free food, right? They also, you get a free meal or something while you're working at McDonald's. Maybe I should work at McDonald's. Okay, Eduardo. Sorry, Eduardo. I was just kidding. Welcome, Eduardo. Now I know what to call you besides engineering visual process. So that's great. Let's see who else has answered. Okay, so Eduardo got another one. So number 7, the last day for applying. This one, we would call that the closing date usually. So the closing date, it will tell you on the job advertisement that you can apply up to the closing date. And then after that time, they're usually not accepting any more applications. Sometimes they don't put a closing date, right? Like say McDonald's, they're always going to need more and more people. So sometimes they don't have a closing date because you can apply forever. All right, great. A job that will end on a certain date. Let's see if anybody got that one. So I'm reading through the comments. Looks like Bay got number 8. So temporary. Temporary means that it's just for a certain period of time. Temporary. So we use this word a lot. Like maybe it's related to a job. This is a temporary position and it will end December 31st or March 21st next year. So this is often a good way to get into the Canadian job market, is to look for temporary positions because these are not as popular among people, because some people think, I don't want a temporary job. I want something that's going to last for years and years. So less people apply for that job. And you can say, oh, wow, here's a temporary position. I'll do this job for 3 months or 6 months. And then maybe they will hire me after in a position that keeps going. I don't want to give you the word yet. So a lot of people start in temporary positions, get some experience, learn about the company, and then they can move on to a more, what was the next one? Great, you got bonus as well. Who got number 9? Looked like somebody got it. Eduardo got it. Okay, perfect. Permanent is sort of the opposite of temporary. So temporary means it's going to end. Permanent is ongoing. You can work there for years and years and years. Sorry, we have a helicopter flying overhead, so I had to close my window. A job that will continue indefinitely is a permanent position. Okay, awesome job, you guys. You did great. Yeah, you got all the words. That's awesome. So great job, everybody. If I didn't see your answer there, don't worry. I think together we came up with all the right answers. So some good words: benefits, closing date, temporary, permanent. The previous page, the job you will be doing is position, responsibilities, qualifications, salary, and schedule or shifts. Great. Okay, this is kind of a fun little activity. So I want you guys to guess the salaries. So I don't know if you're in Canada, a lot of you are not. What do you think the salaries are for the positions below? So we'll go through the positions: family doctor, high school teacher, marine biologist, server, IT professional, dentist. ECE worker stands for early childhood education worker. So like a daycare worker or kindergarten worker. And then finally, government employee. So these are the average salaries for all of the positions. What I want you guys to do is guess. So let's start with family doctor. All you guys type in your guess as to what a family doctor makes per year in Canadian dollars. Whoever is the closest will get a point. Whoever gets the most points is the winner. So it's a little game. Let's play a game. Guess how much a family doctor earns in Canada. No Googling, okay? Don't Google the answer. So let's start with number one. Everybody put in your answer for number one. What do you think a family doctor earns in Canada? And then I'll give you the answer. So I see Eduardo gave us an answer for number one, 90,000 Canadian dollars. This is before tax. So before tax, we call this the gross salary or gross income. And then, of course, taxes are very high. They take taxes. But I want to know before taxes, how much do you think they make? So Eduardo said 90,000 for a doctor, 4,000. So that's a good guess. Usually we say the salary by year. I know in some countries they say per month. So I assume you meant 4,000 per month. In Canada, when you look at a job advertisement, it's going to be for the year or it's going to be per hour. So for 1 year is a salary, for 1 hour is called a wage. So 120. So Prime Janitorial says 120. Let's go with Canadian dollars. So you put US dollars. That would be about 150,000 Canadian dollars. So good guess. Yep. So I get it, Yelda. That's per month. So the closest guess for a family doctor in Canada was... Good guess. Jose said 105. I think Prime Janitorial is the best answer. So I looked it up before today's lesson, and the correct answer is $211,934. I'll write that here. So $211,934. Why didn't I become a doctor? Well, I don't like blood and I don't like people coughing in my face and throwing up all over the place. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't become a family doctor, but they make very good money in Canada. So let's give that one to Prime Janitorial. Good guess, 120,000. Actually, it's more than that. They make over 200,000 per year. This is average amongst all the provinces. So some provinces pay less to the doctors, some provinces pay more, but average $211,000. That's some good money right there. Number two, how about high school teacher? So I noticed a few people guessed 65,000. Good guess. Anybody else guess for high school teacher? Again, don't Google it. Put in your guess, and we'll see who is the closest. So it looks like we only have one answer. That comes from Eduardo. Hello from Dominican Republic. Hey, nice to see you, Prime Janitorial. 90,000. So Christina is guessing 90,000. I guess this is for the high school teacher. Good guess. Okay. Welcome back, Christina. 120,000. Okay, good guesses. I'm going to say the closest answer was Eduardo. Eduardo was closest, and you might be surprised. Actually, the answer is 45,825. So this is low. Low. I was surprised that it's so low, but maybe this is the starting salary for a high school teacher. And then after they get some experience, they can earn a lot more. But remember, high school teachers only really work 10 months of the year. They have the summers off in Canada, so July and August, they don't really have to work. So they continue to earn money during the summer vacation. So maybe that's why it's a little bit low. But I was surprised that this one is so low. Let's say, Eduardo, you get a point because you were the closest for that one. Okay, Brenda. Okay, Brenda. Hi, Brenda. I will try to remember your name is Brenda and not prime janitorial. Okay, great. So good guesses. Let's move on to marine biologist. So I know some of our students are marine biologists, so I wanted to put this one in here. What about number 3? So what do you think a marine biologist earns? And this one is also, lower than I thought it would be. If you're not sure what a marine biologist is, it's like a scientist who works with the ocean, the animals, and the plants and stuff like that in the ocean. So it requires a high education. And I don't see, I think somebody answered up above. I think Eduardo maybe guessed 60,000. So that's a good guess. 70,000, that's a great guess. Christina, this is for number 8. Okay, Eduardo guessed for 8. I think Eduardo is the closest here. So correct answer, at least the answer I found, was $52,486. So it's not that great. I mean, it's about $1,000 a week, which is enough to live on, but it's not a huge paying job, which is kind of surprising. Server. So somebody who works in a restaurant bringing food to other people. Sorry, guys, it's getting a little confusing. So if you could just say which number you're guessing. So if you're guessing for number 4, just put 4 and then the answer. If you're guessing for 5, put 5 and then the answer. So I see a few answers. I see Brenda says 80,000. I'm not sure which job this is for, Brenda. So anyway, let's go to server. Somebody who serves food in a restaurant. So Jose guessed 2,800 or 28,000, did you mean? Or is that per month or per year? Anyway, that's a good guess. So that was your guess. Okay, that was for 3. Okay, 28,000. So I'm going to give this one to Jose because he's very close. So the correct answer is crap. Stupid pencil. Server is $32,585. So servers don't make that much. $32,585. Usually it's minimum wage, which is about $13 or $14, plus maybe some tips. So it's a hard job and they don't make all that much money. So that's a great guess. So Brenda guessed 40,000, which is really close. Let's just go through the other ones. IT professional, pretty good. So IT professional is 68,655. So Great. If you are an IT person, this is in very high demand. You make a pretty good salary, 68,000, and then the sky's the limit. It could go up from there. Next one is dentist. So dentist, 161,989. ECE worker, so working with children, 35,553. And then finally, government employee is 56,844. Remember, this is average. So, of course, some people make more, some people make less. This is just the average of all the provinces and territories and all the positions that are in this category. So we've got a couple questions, a lot of good guesses here. Yelda asked, what does IT professional mean? So somebody who works in information technology. So IT stands for information technology. Could be a software developer. Could be a systems administrator. Could be a database administrator. So somebody who works with computers, usually making apps, software, all that stuff. So good question. So I wanted to do this activity just to see what you know about Canadian salaries. Unfortunately, we have really high taxes here. So let's take, for example, a dentist. So dentist earns 162,000. How much tax do you think that they pay here in Canada? Let's say they live in Nova Scotia, which has really, really high taxes. How much tax do you think a dentist would pay in Nova Scotia? And I'll share the answer with you. You're going to cry if you're a dentist in Nova Scotia. I'm not sure if we looked at this website before, so I'm just going to share it with you. All right, can you guys see that? Sorry, I lost my window. Okay, so can you guys see this here? This is kind of useful. So if you're coming to Canada or live in Canada and you're thinking about finding a new job, go to this website. It's called EES, Personal Income Tax Calculator. So you can choose your province. Let's choose Nova Scotia because that's where I am and it's the best province. Put in your salary. So we said for dentist, 162,000. In Nova Scotia, they will pay $55,000 in tax. They will also pay CPP, which is our Canada Pension Plan, which is what everybody must be part of in Canada. They must get employment insurance. So they end up keeping $102,000. So of the 162,000, 55,000 in tax, 3,100 for CPP, 890 for EI, and they only get to keep 102,000. So their taxes in Nova Scotia are about average is 34%. So 34 on average. You can compare provinces too. So in Ontario, it's only 31%. It's a bit better. Saskatchewan, only 30%. Ooh, Alberta, only 28%. So you can sort of see that different provinces and territories have very, very different tax rates for your income. If you earn less, let's say ECE worker was about 35,000. So notice 35,000, they still have to pay tax. They pay about 5,000 in tax. They pay less CPP and less employment insurance. So they get to keep 27,000. And their tax rate in Nova Scotia would be closer to 15%. So the less income you make, the less percentage of money you pay for taxes. And then you can also compare between provinces. So each province can set their provincial tax rate. Everybody pays tax to Canada. Everybody pays tax to their province. Each province has a different rate. So maybe if you're coming to Canada and you're thinking, where am I going to live? British Columbia, Ontario, Nova Scotia. Take a look at the tax rates because you will be surprised. It can be a big difference between them. Okay, awesome. So good guess. Yeah, Irene said 40 to 50%. Sometimes, like if you have a really, really high salary, you could pay 40 to 50% tax in Canada, which is crazy. Crazy, crazy. Okay, let's go back to our lesson. That was a little bit of I got sidetracked a little bit because I love talking about money and taxes. Let's move on. We're going to do one more activity. So this is a reading activity. I'm going to give you guys a few, let's say 2 minutes to read through this job advertisement. Then I'm going to ask you questions about it. So this is testing your reading ability, your ability to remember information. Here we go. So it's a little bit long, and I'm going to make it a little bit larger so you guys can read it. Read through this job advertisement, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay, starting now. So you guys are reading, read it, see what you know. You can take a couple notes if you want, and then I'm going to ask you questions. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we are reading through this job advertisement. Try to remember some of the main information, and then I'm going to ask you some questions after. Okay, 1 more minute to try to get all the information you can. Okay, so 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, so hopefully that was enough time to get some of the information. It might have been too short to get everything to read it too carefully, but a really important skill is for you guys to be able to skim and scan. So skim is get all the information, get an overview of what you're reading. And then scanning is for specific information. So if I were to ask you, what is the salary? You'd be able to find that information really quickly. Or is the job full-time or part-time? And you'd be able to find that information. So I've got some questions for you guys based on what you just read. So, Pilar was in a tsunami simulation at work. That's pretty cool. I'm glad it wasn't a real tsunami, but that's kind of cool that you get to do that in a job. Maybe I'll do a tsunami simulation later for Right Start Newcomer Services. We do get tsunamis here, I guess, once in a while. Okay, so based on the job advertisement you just read, what is the salary? So what is the salary for the position that you just read about? Actually, I'm going to put it back on screen so you'll be able to find the information. So what is the salary? Okay, Christina got it. Very good. Maybe I don't need to put it on. Let's see if you can remember without going back. So Christina got it. Yelda got it. Very good. And Bay got it too. Okay, you guys are amazing. You don't even need to see the reading again. Next question. I, however, have a terrible memory, so I do need to see the reading. Okay. What is the job? So what job are they advertising? So you told me the salary. What is the position? Wow, you guys are great. Okay, Bay got it. So pet care attendant, I think ATTENDANT. I think specifically dogs, right? Dog care attendant, dog care, you got it. Close, Christina. So attendant, related to the care of dogs. Kind of like a dog watcher. So somebody who takes care of dogs. You know, people in Canada love their pets, so they pay a lot of money to send their dog to doggy school or like doggy daycare. They drop the doggy off in the morning and then they play with the dog and walk it and brush it, and then they come pick the dog up later. It's pretty ridiculous, but you know, some people spend a lot of money on their pets. So dog care attendant, pet care attendant, something like that. Okay, is this position temporary? And is this position part-time? So is it part-time or full-time? Is it temporary or permanent? Let's see if you can remember. So if you can read that, I know it's pretty small if you're watching on a phone or something like that. Very good. Eduardo got it. It is a permanent position. And Bay got it. It is a full-time position. So probably it's 35 hours a week or more because it's full-time. Hey, Shohili's here. Hey, Shohili. Yes, you're right. It is a full-time. So it's not really temporary. So it is Monday to Friday, but I think they also say it could be weekends as well. Okay, you guys are great. Christina doesn't remember, but it is permanent and it's full-time. Okay, great. So what qualifications do you need for this job? So what qualifications do you need? So what experience, training, personality, things do you need for this job? Great. So experience and education, let's say related education and experience. So that's good, right? They want people who might have some experience working with animals. So yeah, I think it says a little bit. It says it's an asset. Experience and education related to working with dogs is an asset. So Usually they say some things are an asset. Asset is a good thing if you have it, but it's not necessary, right? So even if you don't have experience working with dogs, you can still apply for this job. Okay, great. Shohili, that's a good one. CPR. So CPR is a training that they do, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. They said that they will provide that. So you don't actually need that, Shohili. It says it will be provided. So they will give you the training to do CPR, and experience with dogs is good. Also, it mentions that it's physically active work. So you need to be physically fit because you're running around with dogs, playing with dogs, picking up dogs. You need to be fit, right? If you can't lift things, if you can't walk around, it might not be the right job for you. So must be good at customer service, must be physically active. And if you have experience with dogs, that's an asset. Okay, couple more questions. I know it's time to go. What are the benefits? So what are some of the benefits of this job besides salary? I think one benefit is that you get to play with dogs all day. That would be pretty sweet. Maybe I should apply there too. Okay, great, Bay. So vision, so that's talking about eyes, because here in Canada, usually you have to pay for eye things. So glasses are not free. If you need an eye test, you have to pay for that. So this job includes vision, dental, your teeth. They pay for dentist, maybe even some surgery, stuff like that. Prescription, very good. Here in Canada, you usually have to pay for your own prescriptions. Dental and vision care, life insurance too. So life insurance protects you, well, it doesn't protect you from dying. It gives money to your family or whoever you decide should get that money if you die, right? So it's more for protecting your family. So those are all really important things. Casual dress. So you can wear relaxed clothing. You can wear a t-shirt, maybe jeans. You don't have to dress up in a suit or in a uniform for this job. Great. And the last one is parking. So they have parking there. You don't have to pay for parking for this job. Last one. So question, how do you apply? How do you apply for this position? So should I go there with my resume? Should I call them? How do I apply for this position? By the way, this is not a real company. I changed the name so I wasn't copying it exactly. So it's not called Doggy Heaven. I probably wouldn't send my dog to a place called Doggy Heaven because that's where doggies go when they die. So don't worry, it's not really called Doggy Heaven. Christina said they should attach their resume. Very good. Just take out the N. They should attach their resume and email it to them, I think. So email the resume as an attachment, and that's how you apply for most jobs here in Canada. So engineering, okay. Eduardo said attached resume. Pilar said she doesn't know. So this is from one of those websites. This is from Indeed, and you can apply directly through the website. Sometimes they give you the email address and you can send it to them by email and you respond to the posting. Exactly. So no, don't attack the resume, attach. So attack means to fight. But to attach is to send it as like a document, a PDF. Most of the time you want to send it as a PDF. So if you're familiar with computers, PDF is best because the format doesn't change, right? You can send it to somebody's on a Windows computer, Mac computer, iPhone, tablet, and they will be able to see the resume exactly as you wrote it. So good tip, send your resume and cover letter as a PDF. Okay, Bay got a kick out of that. All right, so that's it for this activity. That's it for this lesson. We did a lot. So we had a good discussion. We looked at some job advertisement vocabulary like qualifications, position, temporary, permanent, all those words. We did a job advertisement reading. I don't want to keep you guys all day. I could spend all day hanging out with you guys, but I know you have things to do. Just wanted to remind you about my business, Right Start Newcomer Services. Here's our website. Here's my email if you want to get in touch. Go for it. By the way, we will have a class next Monday. So I know it's a holiday here in Canada. Does anybody know the holiday? Maybe that will be the topic of next week's lesson, this particular holiday. So what is the holiday in Canada next Monday? If you get the right answer, you get a cookie. I just made cookies, so you can have a cookie. What's the holiday on Monday? Okay, Shohili got it. Thanksgiving. So it is Thanksgiving on Monday, but we will have a class anyway. So I'll see you guys next week. See you, Pilar. Thank you guys so much for coming. You're welcome, Bay. And I'll see you on Thanksgiving next week. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.